All right, ladies, I'm standing on the first tee at Militia Hill, getting ready to start my round. I'm excited. I can't wait to play. Looking forward to a good round. I get up, I swing, and I hit my usual cruddy first tee shot. Only this cruddy tee shot is really cruddy. I'm going to ask Reed to pan the camera down. So basically, if you can imagine that my tee shot didn't go over this tee box in front, I actually pulled it left, and it went over the crest of that hill where there's fescue, right? So, what do I do? Well, let's pretend we walk down there and we can't find it. It's probably reasonable to assume that if we can't find it because the fescue's down pretty low, and we did a pretty good job of looking, that it's in the hazard, it's in the creek that bisects the fairway. The only problem with that logic is that according to the rules of golf, in order to be able to take advantage of any kind of hazard rule, you have to know that it's in the hazard. Clearly, it's probably to my advantage if I wanted to find my golf ball or not find my golf ball in the hazard to take relief down there, because I'm going to pick up, 40, 50, actually in this case it's almost 100 yards of distance instead of having to retake. I can play according to the hazard rule. But because I didn't see it go in the hazard, and I can't knowingly be absolutely sure that it is lost in the hazard, I have to proceed like it's a lost ball outside the hazard, which is going to require that I come back up here, I make the long walk of shame, back up to the tee box, I retee it, and I play the hole, hitting my third shot off the tee. How would you handle it? Yep. All right, ladies, we're on the right side of the second hole at Militia Hill. Started off the round with a little bit of a shot to the right, and we're facing an uphill shot to the second green, but we're staring at this irrigation box in front of us. Now, the irrigation box, amongst many other types of things that you'll find on a golf course, is considered an obstruction. It's not a naturally man-made object, and as most of you may or may not know, the obstruction rule allows us to take relief from it. But we only get relief for stance and swing. So if my ball were right here, it's not interfering with my stance, but it clearly is interfering with my swing. I get relief. Ball were right here, it's not interfering with my swing, but it's interfering with my stance. I get relief. Here's the bad news. In this scenario, even though that is directly in front of me and in direct line to the flag where I would want to hit it, because it doesn't interfere with my stance or my swing, I get no relief. I'm stuck. I just have to play it however I want. Maybe I hit a wedge, maybe I bunt it out to the left. You only get relief from an obstruction if it interferes with your stance or intended line of swing. What did you do? Keep going, no problem. So ladies, we're here on the third hole at Militia Hill. We've hit a pretty good drive. We're probably about 200 yards off of the tee, but we find our ball behind this tree. We're looking at the greens up here to our left. We've got a long shot, and obviously what we've got here is we've got an unplayable lie. So the question is, what relief procedures can you take? Well, option A obviously is to play it as it lies, which we're not going to do because it's right up against the tree. Option B is to go all the way back to the tee and replay it. Probably not a great option given that we've got a couple others that are going to be more advantageous. Option C is we take the point where the ball's unplayable and we can go 2 club lengths from that location and take a drop. That would be one way to do this. And of course, this gets me out of harm's way with the tree and gives me a relatively clean shot towards the green. And then option 4 is we can go back as far as we want, keeping the point where the ball was unplayable between the flagon and yourself. Now, doing this doesn't make any sense because the tree is directly in between the flag and I. So no matter how far back I were to go, if I took a drop, I'd still have to deal with the tree. So option 3, which is taking 2 club lengths, no closer to the hole, is definitely the best option, but keep in mind that some of these other choices may actually be better at certain times. Here you go, you're good. All right, ladies, we're on the right side of the fourth hole, Militia Hill. I'm going to need you to use your imagination a little bit so that we can really take advantage of this rule talking about lateral hazards, hazards that are marked with red stakes. So imagine you teed off on the 4th tee going toward the 4th green. Your ball went a little bit right, hit this tree, which is just beyond where the cart path bridge is, and bounced all the way backwards. You got a really bad bounce, sorry. And it bounced all the way backwards and entered the hazard at this point. So the ball has entered the right side of the hazard at this point. What do we do? Okay? So there's a couple different ways we can think about this. First option is you can always play the ball as it lies. We're going to assume it's down in the hazard, and that's not good. Second option is we can go all the way back to the tee and re-tee it. That's always an option for us. Obviously that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Option 3 is we can keep the point where it entered between us and the flag and go as far back as we want. Well, why would I want to go back, 20, 30, 40 more yards if I don't have to? So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Option 4 is the ball entered here, so I'm going to take 2 club lengths and I'm going to drop. Now, it might appear that this is probably the best option, but here's the reality. It's not. I'll tell you why. Reed's going to turn around and show you what I'm staring at on my shot. My shot is staring at this tree in between the green and I. So we're going to go to option number 5. This is one that doesn't get used very often, but when it enters a lateral hazard, you can find a point on the opposite side of the hazard that's equidistant from the hole and drop 2 club lengths from that point. So we're going to take a little walk here, get to the other side. Okay. So we're now on the other side of the hazard. We're at a point that's equidistant from where the ball bounced off the tree and went into the hazard. And I'm going to take my 2 club lengths. 1, 2. I'm going to drop. And the advantage to doing this is that now Reed's going to turn around and show you I've got a perfectly clear shot into the green. I don't have to deal with the tree. So 5 options when it goes into a lateral hazard. Play it as it lies, go back to the tee, keep the point between where it entered the hazard between you and the hole and go back as far as you want. Drop 2 club lengths from the point that it entered, or drop 2 club lengths from a point on the opposite side of the hazard that's equidistant from the point that it entered.